All right, let's talk about something that keeps a lot of parents up at night: college. Specifically, how in the world are you supposed to pay for it without completely derailing your own financial future? Is it even possible? Well, that's what we're digging into today. For so many of us, this is the big, scary question, right? It feels like this impossible choice. You're staring at two futures, your child's and your own, and it feels like you have to pick one. Do you drain your retirement savings to pay for their dream school, or do you limit their options to protect what you've worked so hard for? It's a classic catch-22. But here's a thought. What if that's a false choice? What if there's actually a way to do both? A way to send your kid to a fantastic college and keep your retirement savings safe and sound? Well, there is, and that's exactly the path we're going to map out. So first things first, we got to understand the problem we're up against. For most families, this whole thing feels like you're on a college retirement collision course. And honestly, if you don't know what you're doing, the outcome can be pretty messy. You know, this quote really hits the nail on the head here. When it comes to paying for college, what you don't know can absolutely hurt you. The whole process is just littered with myths and bad advice. And following that bad advice, it's not just a small mistake. It can literally cost you tens of thousands of dollars and put your retirement goals in serious jeopardy. Let's look at some of the biggest myths that trip people up. First, this idea that the sticker price is what you pay. Nope. So many families see that big number and just freak out, but the reality is almost no one actually pays that price. Then there's the one about financial aid only being for low-income families. That's just not true. A lot of families qualify for all sorts of aid. But maybe the biggest, most dangerous myth of all, believing this whole thing won't really impact your long-term finances. Oh, believe me, without a solid plan, it absolutely can and will. Okay, so if that's the problem, how do you avoid falling into these traps? Well, it all comes down to having a clear, proven process to guide you. And here's the good news. You don't have to be a financial genius to figure this out. It seems super complex, I know, but it becomes so much more manageable once you have a simple, clear plan to follow. And the folks at Diversified College Planning have boiled this down to three simple words: learn, plan, and win. It sounds easy, right? But it's an incredibly powerful way to take this huge, complicated challenge and break it down into steps you can actually take. So step one, learn. This is all about getting the right information. I'm not talking about what your neighbor said over the fence or some random article you found online. This is about understanding how the game is actually played. You know, how colleges really calculate financial aid, what they're looking for, and where all the hidden opportunities for saving money are. Okay, once you know the rules, you can move to step two, plan. And this is key. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. This is about building a custom strategy that's tailored specifically for your family, your finances, and your kids' goals. The whole point is to boost their chances of getting in while legally and ethically setting you up to get the most financial aid you possibly can. And that brings us to the best part, step three, win. This is what happens when you follow the plan. Your child gets into a college they're genuinely excited about. You end up paying a price that you can actually afford without having to raid your retirement funds. And you get to just breathe, knowing that both your child's future and your own are on solid ground. All right, a three-step process sounds nice and neat, but let's be real. Talk is cheap. What really matters are the results, right? So let's look at the actual, tangible proof of what this kind of strategy can do. I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? What does this proven strategy actually achieve for a family just like yours? What's the bottom line here? How much can you realistically save? Okay, here it is, over $80,000. Seriously, on average, that is how much families save per student when they use a dedicated college planning strategy. Just let that number sink in for a second. 80 grand? That is a life-changing amount of money that could go right back into your retirement nest egg. So how is a number that big even possible? Well, it's not magic. It's just smart strategy. It's about finding colleges that are a great financial fit, not just a great academic one. It means positioning your finances correctly so you qualify for more aid, both merit aid and need-based aid. And honestly, a huge part of it is just avoiding those common, super costly mistakes. It's all about uncovering the real, discounted price of college. But you know, at the end of the day, this whole process gives you something that might be even more valuable than the money you save. It gives you confidence. It gives you peace of mind. Because this is about way more than just the dollars and cents. It's about taking back control. When you have a solid plan, you're not just reacting to scary headlines anymore. You are in the driver's seat. You're making smart, proactive choices that are going to benefit your family for years, even decades to come. And look, this isn't some brand new, untested theory. This is a strategic process that has already helped over 30,000 families get through this journey successfully. It just goes to show that having a solid plan works, it consistently gets results. So that impossible choice we talked about at the beginning, it turns out it's not so impossible after all. It's not about college or retirement. With the right strategy, it really can be both. Your kid gets to go to their dream school, and you get to keep the retirement you've worked your entire life to build. Which really just leaves one last question. After seeing the pitfalls, the myths, the solution, and the incredible results, are you ready to stop worrying and actually start building a real plan for your family? If the answer is yes, and you're ready to take that next step, you can book a free consultation with the team at Diversified College Planning. It's a great way to see how a custom plan could work for you. That's all for now. Thanks so much for tuning in.